Hello everyone. I would like to talk about a very important point of consideration in the sense that, you see, we as human beings are first considering a sense of other and then communicating with it. And so I want to tell you about that sense of judgment which naturally manifests and you don't judge it. So we all judge things and react, and even though sometimes physically we don't, internally we are, and that is the nature of the mind. That is the nature of memory to impose itself in a new refabrication, which can be a recollection as a moment for you. Begin to see that many people are, in a sense, sprouting, in the sense that many of our past habits are being seen in new lights. So you notice that the understanding of man is shifting to an understanding that is first allowing man to get out of a limited sense, out of certain states of and certain limited ranges of emotion. Anger, depression, madness, sadness. We must begin with a sense of internal warmth and a sense of ability to do our work. Our work is simply our ability to be activated within the moment. Be serious with yourself. Let your statements not be tossed around into a random reality. Let yourself speak to a world that is waiting for your eyes to open. As we look at ourselves, we are working, we are moving, we are shifting, and so there is an energy surrounding us. And so the man who is allowing himself to become a creative being as much as his sense of creator, the creation begins to receive that moment where the great vision was being communicated through it. You will begin to understand that the reason many beings can intuitively acknowledge history properly or be seers is that they're feeling their grander bodies. They're finding that the collective intelligence is always communicating to the individual. It is teaching its individuation. That it is only through the collective's view that the vaster individuation is present. And so we see the concept of man's reality has been very simply confused. Because it is not the imagery, it is that your attention and your awareness is creating your reality within the moment. And so the way you're keeping that awareness is linear so far, and it is not the only method. It is not only with thought that we stay sane. Our true sense of sanity is to be able to observe ourselves clearly, and we see that what the human being needs is to balance itself of the polarity it feels it's stuck in. So what happens is that immediately when I am thrown in a problem, where in a situation where I can observe, so in other words, in a second, in a snapshot, I try to see what state I am. And if I am angry, I begin to acknowledge the other side. For once I have reached the highest throne of heaven, I will look down and I will see the reason I am up there is to see the lowest point of hell. And so, if there is a heaven which has acknowledged the hell, there is no location that needs to be in that greater eye. We see that it is our ability to observe, and as man takes his creative potential to the next level, he sees that through his authentic sense of being alive, his authentic existence, he becomes a greater communication, which in his mind is a co-creation with grander senses of collective consciousness, which then through that sense of trust, they show you their individuality. So what many extraterrestrial consciousnesses which you perceive Their way of communicating with you is that to show you that you must first reach that level of observance that we are, to then understand that you are a co-creator in that reality. So we will not be overwhelmed where our collective presence has acknowledged. Our understanding will flow. We will see that our eyes and the eyes of all those around us has become one. And so the communication is there before there is ever a need for the communication. And you see human language fades once greater existential communications happen. And I have felt this, and many have felt this. You have felt your synchronicities. You have felt those moments where life has brought you into coincidences. You have found your ear to hear the voice of strangers and to find the warmth of the cosmos. You are a great instrument which nature is using. You are the intermediary of your infinite imagination to the world of the temporal. So you are this collective sense of being which has a sense of individuation. And once you become aware of it, once you see the emptiness and the clarity within your nature of mind, you do not ignore physical reality. You see that once you have the observance of a God, you were meant to walk in the eyes of man. Because that was the Creator's next step. Because the moment that you are alive captures the moment where all existence stands. With all that remains.